Yeah, for sure. Looks like we are a little bit in delay compared to Jorg and also to Cal, because we have to restart our work on the M1 and try to find the good setting. We start from Aragon test. We did a good step. We modify a little bit the weights, and especially we use a different style of fork and a different rear about a link that is always using from already used from Jorg and Crutchlow. Now we have to do another step, because we have to adapt in a better way the bike in every situation. And but also in Sachsenring was a very good weekend for me, except Sunday. Friday and Saturday was very fast. I'm back on the first row after a long time, and also 0.1 from the pole position. So it means that our setting on the bike works. On Sunday, I have a bit too much problem with the rear, a bit too much slide. Also, the condition of the track changed a bit. Maybe we can do better. So we have to try to do a better job during this weekend. But for sure we continue in that way, because this style of fork gives me better support in braking, and usually I brake very hard from the beginning. I have this style of braking, so I need another support from the fork, and we did a good step.
Valentino, the win at Assen, afterwards, how did you feel? Was it relief? Was it, how was it mentally for you?
Relief was great, a great feeling after a long time. It was very important. Come back not just with a good result, but with the victory. And we work a lot during the weekend, and I was fast. And after I have the problem, the injury of Jorg, so I think that was the right day for come back at the top. And it was great also for all the team, for my mental condition, because we're coming from two very difficult seasons. So we needed that victory, and now we try to stay to fight with the top guys every Sunday.
The cool-off lap after you won it, what was it like? You know?
Yeah, it was was a difficult race, because I have to push every lap, and I understand that I can win when Marquez overtake Pedrosa, but anyway was not able to come to me. You know, I did some good lap, and when I see on my board that my advantage increased, from that moment I start to laugh, and I think that it was the good day. And after the flag, great emotion. Yeah.
Oh. Valley. So you've gone from 2 bad years on Ducati back to winning ways on the Yamaha. What is it about the Yamaha that's allowed you to return to your winning ways, and what was it about the Ducati that stopped you?
Between the two bikes have big difference, and especially important difference. So for me are the feeling with the front. With the Yamaha, you always feel what's happened from the front tire, from the front end of the bike. So you can ride pushing at the limit, and just think at the perfect line, at the good line that you can have, and you can brake deeper. You can try to enter the corner in a faster way. And this was a big difference, because with the Ducati, always brake and entry was very tricky. You don't understand very well what's happened on the front tire, and you don't have enough information for push. And also when you try to push more, always lose the front, and did also a lot of crashes. And also about the engine. dancing character. The electronic system from them one is a lot better, and is a lot more easy understand the way to work on the bike for make the best acceleration from the corner, but at the same time for have a very easy bike to ride. So I think these two are the bigger difference.
Well, the Yamaha and the Honda seem fairly well matched this year. The Yamaha seems to have closed the gap. If you could describe what the Yamaha does better from what you can tell on the track and what the Honda still does better, and if Lynn wants to follow up, that'd be awesome.
For me, the main difference is every condition and every different track, how the bike make work the tire. So this is is also for this reason that 1 week you see maybe the Yamaha is faster in the last lap compared to the Hondas, and after 7 days is completely opposite. So nothing changed on the bike. It's just the condition and the layout of the track, and also the different type of asphalt. And in some places Hondas are better with the tire, in some of the places Yamaha is better. So are very different bike. For me the Yamaha is a lot more smooth, very gentle with the rider, so is very friend with the rider. The bike gives to you a lot of information. On the other hand, the Honda is more aggressive, is more physical about to bring at the limit. For me, Yamaha is better in the entry of the corner for a better front, but Honda is maybe a bit better in acceleration because they are very fast when they open the throttle. Is like with the throttle open, the bike turn maybe a bit more than the Yamaha, and also they are able to use a lot of power in acceleration. But like you said, this season is very important at the setting, but the two bikes are close.
Yeah, I can't really add a great deal more than obviously Valentino's riding the bike, he's watching the others all the time. I mean, the results speak for themselves. I think this year there's four Honda wins, 4 Yamaha wins, so it's kind of horses for courses, you know. Sometimes it suits the Yamaha and favors us more, and other times it suits the Honda. One thing that we are still working on, and that's an ongoing process, is the gearbox. So that's been talked about a little bit in the early part of the season, and hopefully if our development goes well, we'll be able to introduce a seamless shift gearbox in the latter stage of the season, and that will help us to close the gap a little bit more on the Honda, because Honda have been using that system for 2 years. It's all about fine tuning. I think the base of the M1 is extremely good. And it's very much a bike that gives rideability, and as Vale said, it's particularly good on the faster tracks. So we have to see how the second half of the season is going to pan out. I mean, last year we saw, Danny was particularly strong in the second half of the season. He won many races, but I think also Jorge was defending last year. So it'll be interesting as we run into the second half this year, because it looks like the top 3 and maybe the top 4 guys are all going to be very, very close. So it's going to be a fascinating season, I think.
If I could follow up, when will the seamless shift gearbox make its debut? And when it came out on the Honda, it seemed like a pretty significant advantage. So it's amazing you guys are still right in the hunt without a seamless shift. Have you improved your current gearbox that makes it work closer as good to a seamless shift?
Yeah, and again, I'm not a rider. You can probably better ask the riders, but I understand that our gearbox is extremely good anyway. So as a kind of, let's say, regular gearbox, it's extremely high level. And the date of introduction of the final seamless is still to be determined. We'll be testing it soon. We're already testing it in Japan on the racetracks. We'll be testing it soon with our Grand Prix riders, and then based upon that, when we're ready, when we can see that it really has an advantage and the reliability is there, then we'll introduce it.
So this year we'll see it?
I think you'll see it this year, yeah.
Thank you.
So the only disadvantage would be reliability, right? I mean, it's no way that it can make it worse.
can't see how it can make it worse. The thing that we have a little bit here, talking to our main engineers, their main concern is always rider safety. And with a gearbox, you cannot afford to make one mistake. You make one mistake, and it costs you your rider, it costs you the points. What's more important is it can cost you the rider. So Yamaha will not introduce it until they're 100% sure that it's working really well and faultless.
Valley, based on your experience at Laguna Seca, do you expect the track to favor the Honda more than the Yamaha, or do you know at this point for this week?
Laguna is a very strange track, yeah. But in some ways is also similar to Sachsenring. Is more on the left than on the right, and a lot of up and down. Laguna more than Sachsenring, and fast corner and tight corner. So looking at the past, Honda was very strong here. But I think in the last season, especially because the Stoner here in Laguna was always very, very strong. But also Jorge was not so far, so I expect not a big difference. And Jorge won also here with M1, did a lot of pole position. Usually in the race, in the last year, I think Stoner last year and in 2011 anyway, Stoner won with the Honda. But not a big difference between the two bikes, yes.
John Burns?
Yeah, Valentino, I always wanted to ask you when you passed Casey Stoner in the corkscrew that year, did you have that under control the whole time, or did you get big, or?
No. that race was very important. Also because so I did a good result in Laguna, but was unfortunately not of my favorite, not favorite, but not one of the best track during the season for me. So I still had like 20 points of advantage on him, but he coming back very very fast in the last. He won the last races, so that was the key point of the season, And when I start, I remember that I said, or I win, or he don't win. So, so that was the main thing at the beginning. So, and in that moment when I go out on the corkscrew, sincerely was a mistake, because we both brake very deep, and when we go up on the hill, he touched me from the outside, so I was also a bit angry. I wanna brake deeper than him, but he braked very deep, so I have to brake too deep. But I was lucky because I did exactly the same mistake also during the practice. So I arrived a bit wide, and so when I arrived there and I understood that I was a bit out, I was not very scared, because it happened also Saturday or Friday, I don't remember. So I remember that in that spot I can pass without a big problem. So I was lucky.